the singularity of the physical world. All things die as a result of expansion and heat loss. This is the way all bodies die, losing heat, be it the sun, your body, or any living creature. Everything in creation slowly dies from this expansive phenomenon of slow radiation. Sometimes stars can explode. This is proven from supernovae. Also, space is full of debris that we call asteroids and meteorites, and which are remains of planets. And this can be deduced since these lumps of different sizes are irregular in shape, and nature does not create anything in the shape of an irregular lump. All creation begins as a sphere and crystallizes into geometric shapes following specific patterns. Something that we currently do not take into account, despite the supposed scientific advances, is that all matter seeks to disintegrate. In other words, it wants to die. Disintegrating is easier than integrating. Destroying is easier than building. Living is an effort. Dying is effortless. Inspiring the air requires an effort. Exhaling it is done naturally. The air comes out due to a difference in pressure. A balloon inflates with pressure, but it deflates on its own. Matter is not held from the inside by the attraction of gravity, as we usually believe, but is compressed by a force from the outside towards its center. It is the field that generates, shapes and sustains each particle, each atom and each cell. The particle is only a reference point and information vehicle. Each organism tends to self-organize, to self-reference, importing order and coherence, what is called negentropy, and exporting disorder, that is, entropy, and it does this with work and energy. This is why life is hard to maintain and dying is easier. Each individuality is unique. Mainstream science conventionally explains that the atom is held from its center by a material nucleus. But nature does not work this way. The nuclear force is a partial and inaccurate description of what really happens. Gravity is not what it is usually thought to be. His academic description is fictitious. All descriptions of science are incomplete, because they only describe a part of the phenomenon that it tries to describe or define. Nature creates its atoms in the same way that you compress air in a tire, pump it from the outside in, and then keep it sealed, ordered, from escaping. If you don't close it, that is, if it gets messy, it easily escapes. You don't need help to expand, it does itself, by its very nature. What you need effort, energy, for is to compress. But do not make the mistake of seeing the parts separately. The matter and the field that surrounds it are the same. They only alternate their potential and their charge. Without field there is no matter. Without matter there is no experience or memory. Life has no support or vehicle. Matter is an anomaly, a singularity. The physical world is an imbalance. We perceive a universe of separate parts, because we only take into account what the physical senses inform us, which are limited and a source of misunderstanding. We only capture shapes, colors and movement. Our senses work with imbalance and potential differences. The normal condition of the universe is balance and stillness. Matter is not in balance, it is a created condition that divides this balance, generating tremendous tensions. These tensions and potential differences are registered by our senses, which transform them into sensations, memory, feelings and thought, creating the world of experiences. But these experiences are not the essence. Tensions and differences are not true nature, they are illusory, abnormal. For this reason, tensions and imbalances have the desire to balance and relieve tension. Explosions, discharges, flames and death give matter that relief from stress that it so desires. Upon death, The energy previously attached to the physical body dissipates into space. But the information is not lost. Memory is preserved in energy fields, and it will be recycled in innumerable cycles of appearance and disappearance. What we call death is just a change of state, the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. Nothing dies in this universe, there is only change and transformation. Matter and the physical world, as we experience it, only exist as a means of learning and experience. What apparently dies is not your true self. What we interpret as death is only the momentary return to calm and normal balance, without tensions or alterations. And this desire to return to balance is very strong, it is our nature. Living requires effort and energy. Maintaining the imbalance that we call individual life costs us a lot of work. But the return to normality of the universal balance does not require any effort. Life is an imbalance. So, how to find balance in our life? Keep this in mind when appreciating your life and where you spend your energy and efforts. All things and all beings will die naturally and without help. That is why we must protect life, improve its conditions, find calm and balance in the very heart of imbalance. Death is not the problem. The question is how we live. And despite the fact that humanity has always reflected and speculated about a creator of all things, and has investigated looking for the essence of matter and the world in which we live, it has not yet come to understand the nature of creation nor of God. Fragmenting to know, he moved away from his essence. Isolating matter to investigate and try to understand it, it cut itself off from the original source, and each individual has suffered the same fate. It has also not found the center of all movement, and that is why the movement of most people lacks center and meaning. If the center were found, the silence, stillness and simple location of its creator would be easily understood. Because the only way to know your creator and become one with him is within the stillness of the centered and unified mind, which is the center of the creator's mind. The creator is the central point where movement is born. It is the 0 point of all creation, and this 0 point is found everywhere in the universe. At each point, where you are, God is. There is no separation. Duality is an illusion produced by the electrical activity of the brain and interpreted by this same electrical and descented brain. The word God has the connotation of spirit, creative consciousness, universal mind, etc. And not a religious meaning. We use it out of habit and convenience. The knowledge of your true nature sets you free and makes you one with everything. Nothing exists outside of your mind. Your mind is an extension of the one mind, which is everything. If you turn off your internal dialogue and your agreements with the world for a moment, you will be able to feel it. You will be able to feel the life that permeates you and that surrounds you. You will be able to feel this awareness in everything you perceive and feel part of a whole. It is an endearing feeling that provides warmth and security. Fear arises from duality and ignorance. It is a low vibration that keeps you tied to the illusion of the senses and makes you a victim and a slave. Knowledge brings life and light, ignorance is darkness. If you don't know your true self, you live in darkness. Knowledge is information and energy, which generate memory and power. Consciousness is light. Wake up, you are light. Thank you for following our videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, it helps us to spread knowledge.